everyone, welcome to tonight's news. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received on Monday a phone call from the President of the Federal Republic of Germany. The two leaders discussed the prevailing international situation and reaffirmed the strength and depth of the bilateral relations between Algeria and Germany. After intensive and specialized training, new cohorts of officers graduated from the Higher Air Defense Academy in Orghaya and the Higher School of National Gendarmerie in Zerbalda. Zionist entity strikes the Iranian state television headquarters, and Iran warns of an unprecedented forthcoming wave of retaliatory strikes with greater precision. Well, welcome back everyone to tonight's news, and we begin with this call as the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received a phone call from the President of the Federal Republic of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier. The two leaders discussed the global situation with a particular focus on the Russian-Ukrainian conflict and the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. They exchanged views on the latest developments in Gaza and the attack on Iran and the situation in the Sahel. The call provided an opportunity to review the strong and excellent bilateral relations between Algeria and Germany, as both presidents reaffirmed their commitment to further strengthening cooperation across all sectors and agreed to move forward with efforts to develop these ties in a spirit of consultation and mutual interest. In the wake of the latest developments in the Middle East, Algeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, received a phone call from his Iranian counterpart, Abbas Araghchi. The Iranian minister briefed him on the latest developments following the Zionist aggression and its ongoing repercussions across the region. Minister Attaf reaffirmed Algeria's firm condemnation of the attack and called on the UNSC to uphold international law and the UN Charter, stressing the urgent need to end the Zionist entity's repeated violations that continue to destabilize the region. In a joint statement issued by the foreign ministers of 20 countries, including the foreign ministers of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, the Kingdom of Bahrain, Brunei Darussalam, the Republic of Turkey, the Republic of Chad, the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, the Union of Comoros, the Republic of Djibouti, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Republic of Sudan, the Federal Republic of Somalia, the Republic of Iraq, the Sultanate of Oman, the State of Qatar, the State of Kuwait, the State of Libya, the Arab Republic of Egypt, and the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. The foreign ministers of the 20 countries expressed deep concern over the escalating situation in the Middle East, warning of serious repercussions for regional security and stability, calling for immediate halt to the Zionist aggression against Iran. The communique also underscored the importance of establishing the Middle East free of nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction, urging all countries in the region to join the treaty on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons without exception, warning against targeting nuclear facilities under the safeguard of the International Atomic Energy Agency, affirming the necessity of returning to negotiation to reach a lasting agreement on the Iranian weapon nuclear program, stressing that diplomacy remains the only viable path forward. Concluding the joint communique, reiterated that the resolution of regional crises cannot be achieved through military means and that must instead rely on diplomacy, dialogue and the principles of the good neighborliness as enshrined in the UN Charter. Iran's state TV headquarters was hit by the Zionist airstrike during a broadcast. The anchor rushed off camera and several journalists and employees were killed or wounded. Tehran has vowed to respond, saying its military operations against vital sites inside the entity will continue. The strike comes amid a wave of attacks across Iran, including Mashhad Airport and Revolutionary Guard positions. Wenab reports.
The confrontation entered a new phase of escalation after the Zionist entity targeted the Iranian state radio and television building, killing and wounding employees and journalists inside. Immediately after the incident, Tehran confirmed that the television had resumed normal operations. Explosions also occurred today in areas of the capital Tehran and other parts of the country in a new Zionist attack targeting headquarters belonging to the Revolutionary Guards, killing the head of intelligence in the Revolutionary Guards and his deputy. Ballistic missile launch pads, power plants and air defense systems in Tehran, as well as military sites in the Isfahan province, were also struck. The escalation is intensifying, with the two sides exchanging threats and hints of striking nuclear and strategic sites and using more precise and deadly weapons. Iran used new types of missiles at dawn today with a longer range and greater explosive power to strike Zionist targets, including an oil refinery and a power station in Haifa. Iran hinted at the possibility of targeting strategic and sensitive sites, which may reach the point of striking the Zionist Dimona nuclear reactor. This is happening at a time when the Zionist entity has summoned employees and soldiers from the Gaza Strip to enhance security in anticipation of the expansion of the scope of the confrontations.
Reflecting the commitment of the President of the Republic and recognition of the efforts of the educational family and its vital role in shaping future generations, the National People's Assembly approved a law supplementing the retirement system. The new measure will lower the retirement age for workers in the national education sector, offering greater flexibility and freedom of choice. Educators will now be able to opt to continue their careers or request early retirement before reaching the legal retirement age. After a period of qualitative training that meets the level of current challenges and enhances combat readiness and professionalism, graduation ceremonies continue at various military schools. At the Higher Air Defense Academy, Martyr Ali Shabati Nurghaya, the commander of the Territorial Air Defense Forces, Major General Abdulaziz Wam, oversaw the graduation ceremony in an atmosphere that embodies the spirit of discipline and dedication to serving the nation. Wani al-Bahri.
أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي وأحمل تقاليد شرائع الأمجاد.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسليم دفعتنا باسم مجاهد مشروع
Today at the Martyr Ali Shabati Regional Air Defense School, a moment of pride and honor was renewed with the graduation of new batches of officers and several specialties. The graduation ceremony began with an inspection of all the squares with the various formations by Major General Abdulaziz Houam, commander of the Regional Air Defense Forces. This was followed by an opening speech by the commander of the Regional Air Defense School, in which he praised the school's pivotal role in developing highly qualified personnel capable of confronting modern challenges that could threaten the country's airspace, stressing that regional air defense is the nation's safety valve, and this mission is not a job, it's a noble one that requires the highest values and the highest professional standards. With one voice, the graduates took the oath.
أن أكون الخاتم الوفي لبلدي.
Then ranks were awarded and certificates were presented to the top achievers. Then the flag was handed over between the graduating class and the next class.
أطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعات المتخرجة باسم المجاهد المتوفى الشيخ أمود بن مختار.
The commander of the Air Defense Forces for the region approved naming the graduating class after the late Mujahid and leader of the resistance, Sheikh Ahmed bin Mukhtar. Distinctive and coordinated athletic and field demonstrations reflected the level of professionalism, mastery and discipline of the graduating officers. Within the framework of demonstrating practical capabilities, the various projects presented by the graduating students were reviewed. The graduation ceremony concluded with honoring the family of the late Mujahid Sheikh Ahmed bin Mukhtar and signing the school's golden book.
The acting commander of the National Gendarmerie, the General Said Ahmed Bouroumana, oversaw the graduation ceremony of new classes at the Higher School of the National Gendarmerie in Zeralda after they completed a qualitative training in line with the current developments. Najh this time.
From the Higher School of the National Gendarmerie, the finest officers of the National Gendarmerie graduated. Classes specialized in leadership and staff training, logistics, advanced specialization, and public security law. The graduating classes were inspected by the acting commander of the National Gendarmerie, the General Said Ahmed Bouroumana, who also presided over the graduation ceremony. The graduates received high-level academic and military training, enabling them to carry out their duties with competence and professionalism. In his address to the graduates, the acting commander of the National Gendarmerie urged them to uphold discipline and devotion in carrying out their sacred duties. He emphasized also the importance of adhering to notable ethics, national values, and the universal humanitarian principles. He called on them to live up to the trust placed in them and to shoulder the heavy responsibilities they now carry toward their nation and institutions. Following the oath of loyalty and commitment, certificates were awarded and ranks conferred on top-performing students, including cadets from friendly and brotherly nations. The ceremony also included the symbolic handing over the national flag to the next graduating class. A moment of honoring legacy was observed as the graduating class was named after the late Mujahid Major General bin Abbas al-Zayil. The military and ethnic parades took place in the main square, demonstrating the graduates' high level of training, discipline, and coordination. A final military display reflected the determination and composure expected of tomorrow's leaders took place as well. The ceremony concluded with a tribute to the family of the late Mujahid Major General bin Abbas al-Zayil and the signing of the school's golden book.
أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون الخادم الوفي لبلدي والمخلد خالد شرائر الأمجاد.
Back to the Middle East, where no less than 56 Palestinians were killed on Monday following Zionist attacks across Gaza, including 38 who are waiting for humanitarian aid. A very complicated and dire situation as the crisis continues to worsen and famine deepens. Our correspondent Wissam Abu Zaid from Gaza, Najdir.
Amid a worsening famine in Gaza Strip caused by the ongoing Zionist blockade and the denial of humanitarian aid, the occupation forces continue to target civilians gathered at aid distribution points. And since dawn, multiple areas across Gaza have come under heavy bombardment, leaving dozens injured, including women and children, and killing more than 30 people, among them a 1-year-old child, and others waiting desperately for food. The Zionist attacks on the besieged population show no sign of slowing as the humanitarian crisis reaches catastrophic levels, unbearable levels. In the heart of this humanitarian tragedy in Gaza, a father leaves his tent each morning, driven by desperation to feed his starving family. He roams the devastated streets for hours searching for crabs, but always returns with nothing. And inside the fragile shelter, his wife and children wait in silence, and their youngest son, severely malnourished, lies still, his bony frame and sunken face, a haunting image of life under the siege. This is the cause of the war we're facing. My son can't eat anymore. He's scared all the time because of the bombings and the Zionist strikes and the belts of fire that fall on us every day. He suffers from malnutrition because we have nothing left, neither food nor water. He's getting weaker every day and his health is deteriorating. We're reduced to begging for flour. The children beg their father to bring them some, but there's none left. It's because almost impossible to get any. As the number of displaced people in Gaza keeps rising, many are killed by airstrikes while trying to reach aid. Others are left behind in overcrowded camps where hunger and thirst slowly consume them. This man's story is just one among thousands of people cut off from all means of survival, condemned to die in silence. It's an unbearable situation. We have no food or water. I can't even feed my children. My eldest son is constantly exhausted. With the arrival of our displaced brothers from the north of the Gaza Strip, from Jabalia, Beit Lahia and Beit Hanun, the number of families here has increased considerably, making the situation even worse. Now we can't feed everyone. Bombings shatter lives, hunger forces families to flee, and displacement erases entire communities. The occupier follows a clear strategy: break, starve and expel. Yet the Palestinian people continue to endure, struggling to survive against this calculated effort to erase them.
Alright, that was it for today's news. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.